Morning, everybody. If you're not joining us live, I hope you enjoy this this next webinar that we're doing, TLC and Tech, and this one is all about science. And so Marianne and I have consulted some experts. Mostly we're going to share with you what we know that we have available from the AEA, but our big expert today, or greatest expert, is Laura Wood. You're not big. Is Laura Wood joining us? She works with Great Prairie AEA, but she's also does work for us as a science consultant and a 21st century learning consultant. So welcome to Laura and Casey and Seth. Thanks for being here live with us today. And like I told Seth, Casey, if you have anything else that you've seen your science teachers doing that you want to share, please do so. Okay, so Laura, you're first one off today. So.
Okay. Hello, guys. I haven't been on this before, so it's kind of exciting. I need to make an appearance more often, I think, so I understand protocol better. Sorry, Judy. So I have been working with Pocket Labs a lot lately. I don't know if you guys have heard of those, but it's just a very small device. It has 8 sensors in it, and they're coming out with even more, but basically, I can see this used in a lot of forces in motion, kinematics type of lessons, as well as energy. So I was just going to kind of show you that and demo what that looks like today. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you my screen. Okay, and then I'm going to show you how you can use it on different devices. So I'm going to use it on my iPhone, which I think is really awesome since, you know, phones are pretty accessible. And I'm going to go ahead and share my phone. I turned my notifications off. And this is Air Server, if you've not heard of this. So I'm basically going to AirPlay my phone to the computer. Okay. So you can see, like, it is my phone. I think this is so cool. But be careful if you're using it with kids, because you never know, like if a message from family pops up or something like that. So Pocket Labs, you can download that, and then you basically just have to turn your sensor on. So turn it on. Starts flashing, and then it says connecting Pocket Lab. So right now I am connected and I'm collecting real-time data. So it's moving because time is moving by. And right now it's sensing acceleration. So if I excel, then I'm going to track that. What's cool about this is that you can have multiple things that you're tracking. So you can do a 2 graph or a 3 graph. So if you want to compare different things like acceleration or angular velocity at the same time, I'm just going to keep it on acceleration for now. And you can also change the axis. So if you don't want the Z and you just want to focus on the X and the Y directions. So let's say you're having an experiment or you're having kids test a phenomena. So motion is what I would use for this one. When I first saw Pocket Labs, they put it in a soccer ball and then they recorded the information collected when they kicked the ball. So you just simply hit record when you're doing something. So I'm hitting record. Let's say I do something and then I stop the recording. Now I can actually look at the data and analyze it. And what's really cool is that you can share that. So I just hit share. And then you can do it email, AirDrop if you're using a Mac device. I like to just email it to myself and put it right in my drive because you can open the data up in sheets. So you can manipulate the data. You can derive equations from the spreadsheet that it gives you. So I don't know. I just think that's really easy. So easy that I would use this in elementary school. I kind of piloted it with some first graders and they were just like, oh, like they found it very engaging and intriguing. You can't really dig too deep into the data maybe at that age, but at least they can conceptually understand there's a relationship between the motion and the graph. So that is Pocket Lab. And then I went to Mount Air this week And I had a teacher pilot it, Brett Ruggles. So we actually have 2 class sets that you can check out. They come with tablets, so if you don't have devices, they're already set with the program or the apps downloaded right to the tablet, so it's good to go.
Can I say, sorry, Laura,
sorry.
I hate to interrupt you, but the thing that I found with them is that we send them with Android tablets, and the app looks very different on the Android tablets on the Android side than it does on the Apple side. There aren't as many options, and like you can't turn off the X and Y axes. You don't have that option. Have you noticed any of that, or have they updated that app?
When I last looked at it, I thought it was pretty comparable. Maybe I just didn't notice that. I thought it was similar, but maybe I just didn't catch that because maybe I wasn't trying to change the axes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a good point.
Yeah, check and see. But the last time I used them with the tablets that we sent with them, we had on the Android side we could only see the 3 axes. We couldn't turn off like the Z axes and just see X and Y, or narrow it down to just watch the X axes or anything. So I hope that they update that pretty soon for those Androids. But yeah, we do have 2 sets of 5. Is that what you said to check out? Yep.
They come in cases and really nice.
Awesome.
Really nice.
Okay.
And I think Julia has been really great because she's been filling that comes with a maker kit. So you can build a car, and the curriculum for that is right online. And there's also supportive videos too if you're unsure what to do. But she basically restocks it because some of it is, some of it's reusable, some of the parts to make the car, but some of it you have to replace. So she's been updating those. So they come with that maker kit when you check them out. So that's pretty cool. And so when we first got them, I had a teacher in Mount Air, middle school science teacher, try them out with his students. And I wasn't able to get him on live today, but he did do an interview. So I'll play that for you guys right now. If I can make it. There we go. My internet. Hello. If you could just tell me your name and where you teach and what you teach.
My name is Brett Ruggles. I am the junior high science teacher here at Mount Ayr Community Schools. I've also got a 7th grade math class and a high school algebra class that we take care of here. I am predominantly just the middle school science teacher though. We chose the Pocket Labs this year for a unit. We were excited about bringing them in. It was very neat to actually get started right away. One of the things that we really did out of the chute was we started talking about motion and forces. And our goal here was basically to show the amount of force that you can put on an object and the recovery that it takes, basically Newton's third law. So for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction, is what we're trying to get to. When we designed the robot, or not the robot, I should say, designed the little cars, I basically gave them no directions. I basically just said I wanted to find a car that could go the fastest and the farthest. So those were 2 key words there. Fastest was what we tried to work on first. So the Pocket Labs were great, was they could show us acceleration and they could show us overall speed. So that was the idea first, was to try to find the fastest car. And that was hard for our kids because they don't understand quite distance over time. They do so many math problems with it, but they don't actually understand what that really means until they got out and actually started testing them. One of the hardest parts about the project was the amount of time that it does take, because you're redoing and you're redoing and you're redoing constantly, which is a good part of science. It does take a little bit of time for us, but to watch them, have an idea, mess it up, redo the idea, change some things almost every time to try to get the fastest car. Once we got that, we tried to do the farthest. That was kind of more the easier part there for them. They loved that. We tried different surfaces. We went to the outside, did concrete. We did the carpet here in our school. We went to the gym floor and did that. It was fun to watch our kids change tires, change the way they did certain things, basically trying to get the fastest and farthest car.
Very cool. So how did the Pocket Lab enhance that lab?
By using the technology there, it was so much quicker to, first of all, just right away get the calculations, but also see the graph. That was probably one of the neatest things for our kids to understand is a lot of kids don't quite understand acceleration until they see the idea of starting at 0 and getting themselves all the way up to that 5 meters per second. Trying to get to that concept of what that looked like on a graph. Was really neat to see. Our kids really got used to it. At first, it was really difficult to kind of manipulate there a little bit. it. And then what the biggest thing was getting them to read the Pocket Lab that actually was on the car. Once they got that to connect, that connectivity there was so big on with the graph and them understanding knowledge.
What device did you use the Pocket Lab on?
The device, what do you mean?
Like what technology? Mac, Android?
Oh, we're MacBooks. We're MacBooks,
okay.
yeah, MacBook Pros, yep.
And it worked pretty well.
Yeah, actually did pretty well. I actually had an iPad with it just in case to see how that would go.
Okay.
And the iPad was much easier because we could run with it a little bit better. You know,
Yeah.
with the MacBook, your kind of kids are ajar a little bit there. But they were actually, they did okay with it. The good news is it's not a car that goes 60, 70 feet. It stays pretty close. So that was the good news. They weren't running too far with it.
Okay. Did you save the data, or what did you do with? They were just kind of real time looking at data.
Yeah, we saved real time this time. Now, if I would do it again, I would love to have saved it
Okay.
and gone back. If I could have had it back again, basically would have gone back and redesigned the whole thing and tried to see if they could make a better car out of that. Kind of that reflection piece
Okay.
that we weren't able to pull off.
That's cool though. Would you recommend Pocket Lab to other teachers?
Absolutely. There's so many more things you can do. I chose the car thing, but there were so many more. Our kids actually, one day I let them play, they fell in love with the temperature piece.
Mm-hmm.
They were walking around almost every room, every building. We walked into principal's offices during meetings. We were seeing all different kinds of temperatures. Yeah. Good heated debate between parents and principal got the temperature up. But no, it was really neat. I thought they enjoyed that one. We had one kid even who went off on the whole Ghost Adventures and was talking about one of the pieces on there about static electricity or the electromagnetic field, EMF fields. He was really going off on that and talking to the kids about that. So he must be really into those shows because he knew a lot about it. But he was really trying to find areas in the school that had a high EMF field.
So it engaged him because it's like, I can sense this right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like really interesting stuff.
Very cool. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
You guys don't want to see that again, do you? Okay. So yeah,
That was awesome. Good for him.
Very cool stuff. I'm hoping we get more and more use from it and maybe make a Pocket Lab community. I mean, there already is one, but for our teachers to collaborate and talk about how they use it, that would be great. But yeah, Pocket Lab, and they're coming out with Pocket Lab Voyager and Pocket Lab Weather. So I'm just thinking of next generation science standards because of all the different pieces that we could basically implant this tool in and to engage the kids in that and really, really be hands-on with the science and engineer practices. So they're doing science like scientists with these sensors. That's why I'm really excited about it, because we have these new standards, but now we need like the technology to help actually engage in those practices in a real meaningful way. So those are coming. I'm guessing we'll probably get the Voyager and Weather, get a class set as soon as they are out.
Can we get one of those soccer balls because I noticed in this little ad that they have here that they put a Pocket Lab in the soccer ball. So that's got to be a specially designed ball, of course. So we should order one of those. See, there it is right there.
Yeah, I worked with a professor at Buena Vista, and we ended up we were wanting to do the same thing. And so we just got a foam ball and cut out the foam. So, and that worked pretty well. So, and you can do that with the foam footballs too, depending on how you want to engage the kids.
Right.
I could see a lot of kids getting into that with get the athletes and like try out different things and get a better throws and how we can measure that scientifically. Yeah. So yeah, that's Pocket Lab. I think I have one more thing I wanted to talk about just because we just kind of got them. We don't have necessarily class sets yet. We're sort of piloting them, but we ordered I'm not going to set it up, but we ordered an OMAX microscope.
Can you turn off your screen share so we can see that nice and big?
Sure. Yep. Well, let me show you something really quick.
Oh, okay.
Where did I put it? Okay. So this is ProScope. It's a free download, and it connects with ProScope microscope digital cameras. We have one, and it is probably the best one I've seen yet on the market. Like I've been trying so hard because a couple months ago, a teacher asked for one, and I had never tried one out. I have at like science conferences, but no one in the area had them. So, and I asked around at the Iowa State consultants meetings, and no one really knew or had any recommendations for me. So I had to sort of try them out myself. But I will say the ProScope HR high resolution microscope camera. It is awesome. And this is just some pictures from it that I took this week. So that's onion skin. And so you could talk about cells. But what's nice about this is that because it's digital, the teacher can project or cast or however they, put up information, the image. So instead of like kids trying to fight over who's looking through the microscope, now everybody can see it and everybody can have a conversation about what they're looking at under a microscope. So that was the image of from the ProScope. And then I'll stop share real quick just to show you the microscope. So this is the OMAX microscope. It's pretty, it's pretty standard, but basically the eyepiece comes out and that's where you put the digital camera. The one we have at the AEA, it comes with a digital camera already that plugs in USB. But I will say the quality is not as good as the ProScope. So we have two different available pieces of technology. Just the OMAX that comes with a digital camera, it's 3 megapixels. It's okay. It's not bad, but it's not that great of quality. But if you check out this as well as the ProScope microscope camera, it fits right into the eyepiece, and you can use that wirelessly, or you can use it with a USB. So it just depends on how you want to do it. And then you can also download an app for the Wi-Fi part of the ProScope camera, and that app is called UCam Plus. When you search for that, it's free. When you search for that, there's a lot of makeup, like ProCam apps, so don't get confused by that. It looks kind of like a kaleidoscope, but basically, you get the functions of the microscope, and you can take pictures right from your phone, and you can if you cast with your phone, you can do that too. So there's multiple ways of delivering what is being seen under the microscope. So that's one new thing that we have, and hopefully we can order more than just one so that we can get more access to teachers. But so that was the digital microscope. And then I think I wanted to share one more thing. Oh yeah, let me cast again or share screen. Sorry, I have a lot of really cool things to throw at you guys.
But don't be sorry about that. We're all just like, you've got us glued to the screen.
There we go. Okay, so I had the fortunate pleasure of going to Hamburg on Monday. A friend of mine is the superintendent there. Oops, I was going to share that with you, Judy, it looks like. So I was going there to look at their redesigned learning environment because they just put one into first grade classrooms. So these are images from that room. So they have monitors that the teacher's casting to. But what was really cool is that we are witnessing mystery science in these pictures. And I just wanted to highlight how incredibly awesome mystery science is for the next generation science standards for K-5. It is I would say it highlights the 4 C's, so 21st century learning with that creativity, collaboration, communication, critical thinking, but it also is having kids engage in those science and engineer practices. And in this case, I was seeing a lot of literacy happening, and it wasn't intentional. It was natural. Kids wanted to know how to communicate what they were experiencing. And I got to witness this group of kids. Let me see if I have a picture of the particular ladies. They were having this group right here. They were talking about what they were seeing, and they had a sort of a journal write where they had to draw. They didn't even have to write anything, but they wanted to talk about what they were witnessing. So this lab was basically on erosion. They had to create a land structure, and then they were dripping water to see what happens to it, and they were mapping the results after each rain. And so it was kind of neat because they were like, the water fell, and they were trying to sound it out. And then one of the girls was like, water, W-A-T-R. And then the other one was like, no, like there's a O in it. And then, so they were having this like debate on how to spell water, and they were constructing sentences because they wanted to be clear on what they were seeing. And I thought that is amazing for first grade. That is so awesome to see in first grade happening. So I think mystery science is a win-win. And luckily, the Green Hills AEA purchased into it, and we are offering it for 3 years. So that is a big deal to spread to your teachers, let them know about that. I have a video clip, you can just hear the excitement in this little gal's voice. Maybe. Can I not? Maybe my sound? I don't know what's up with it's like it's sticking.
Build a book company. Watch and see what the water does. This is a chance to practice your observation skills. Look for small changes in the lens. It's not all the water drips out of the cup. That's okay. Go to the next step and everyone's water stops dripping. Build a book company. Watch and see what the water does. This is a chance to...
Anyway, so that was really cool to witness in the classroom. And so just another resource for science teachers and helping them transition into the new science standards.
And just so people know, there is a 30-day free trial of Mystery Science. So if they want to use it for the end of the year, and then the subscription that we're paying for starts, of course, in the fall. So it's for K-5. And so let your K-5 teachers know that they can use Mystery Science from now to the end of the year for free, and then start fresh in the fall with that. So that's exciting.
We have that linked on our website too. So if you go to the TLC Science, there's a link to Mystery Science that explains that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we've gotten great feedback from many teachers that are using it, and they had the 30-day free trial. And when we told them that we were going to pay for it for 3 years, they were just over the moon about that. So that's great. It's nice to see that, Laura. I'm glad you captured that.
Yeah. Oh, and then I guess I have one more thing I wanted to share before I pass it over. I'm kind of wanting some feedback, so maybe you guys that are live could put some input on this, but I would like to sort of send out updates, but I don't want to, overload people's emails. But I get a lot of information from the state level on upcoming trainings, different resources for the new science standards, things like that. STEM Festival. There's just a lot of cool things that are happening that we want teachers to know about should they want to engage in that. And so I was thinking I would put out sort of a science news update and probably do it on a monthly basis. So I'm getting some information together for before summer. So like what's happening in science this summer, just so teachers are aware it's on their radar. And then I was thinking about just sending that out once a month. So I would have a document with all the links and pertinent registration or whatever information they need. But then, if it's just like a quick video, like I'm thinking 2-3 minutes of science update, news briefing. Do you think that would be helpful to science teachers?
I'm going to have Casey and Seth jump in there.
Yeah, if Casey and Seth want to, what do you guys think?
I think that a video would be probably a really good idea, because I feel like teachers are kind of overwhelmed or flooded with words all the time. So I like the idea of a short video more than like another written newsletter. But I would say that'd be a good idea just with the next gen science. And I know at Tri-Center, everybody's, they don't know exactly what that looks like, and everybody's in the same boat. And
oh yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think a video would probably be better than just a regular newsletter, because you make a newsletter, they're going to scan through it, delete it, and then still wonder what the heck's going on. But if it's short, they might actually sit there and watch it during a little bit of prep time. 2-3 minutes isn't very long. Both of my science teachers would invest the time in that here. Right. And then make sure the pertinent information is included somewhere below in the comments or on a separate document on a Google Doc or something.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll probably make a running doc. So like news briefing and then date, and then just keep adding to it and have that link in the email with the video. So, okay. Well, I think I'm going to go for it then.
Yeah, I think you should too.
If you send it to the instructional coaches, then they can forward it. That might be better, just because they don't know you
Mhm.
necessarily. So if you send it to us, and we forward it, they might see that a little bit more. And
Plus,
at
you
least
guys
the
will
first
probably
couple.
watch it, and you could verbally, hey, in person, you should go to this kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So
Okay.
maybe you could use the Green Hills YouTube channel and post those there.
Okay, good idea. I like that. Let's get it connected.
Do it.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Great.
Well, thank you for your input, you guys.
You're welcome.
Oh, thanks, Laura. That was lots of wonderful.
I know.
here. No, that's good. Seth or Casey, any questions about Pocket Labs or the microscopes or anything else that Laura talked about? Or good to go? Huh?
How does the Green Hills have the Pocket Labs, or how many? What's the availability with those?
2 class sets, they come with 5, I believe. 5 Pocket Labs. So
5
that
tablets.
yeah, 5 tablets, 5 Pocket Labs. So you probably want to do like, you know, I would imagine groups
Yeah.
in each Pocket Lab.
Okay. Sounds good.
And if you want, Casey, I could bring some out also. So I could grab them and bring them out
Oh, okay.
and show them to you and your teachers if you want to. I'm not an expert in that kind of stuff, but I know how they work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who I would show it to. Our middle school science, I know he would like it for sure, but even the younger grades too.
Are you coming to the STEM festival tonight or tomorrow in Riverside, Casey?
Mm-mm.
Oh, we're going to have them there.
Are you? Good.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
good.
So maybe some teachers will stop by and can play with them there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Great. Okay. The next thing I think is me, and I just want to show you real quickly all the STEM stuff that we have available from MediaNet. So let me switch over here. All right. We have a new website in case nobody knows. It just looks different. The address is the same, www.ghaea.org. So it looks like this, and if you're looking to check out things like the Pocket Labs or someday hopefully those microscopes or any of our other STEM equipment, you're just going to go to Media and MediaNet. And you can do just a basic search for STEM, and you'll get, I believe, 115 results. Oh, 240 results with STEM in them. Now, of course, everything is not STEM, STEM, but that's a good way to do that. If you want to have a more detailed search, though, we could do STEM, and instead of just a basic search, if you click expand, so now I'll put STEM here. And then some things that you want to change. First of all, over here on the first row with the search, change this from brief multi-pick to full multi-pick. And then check some things here to help narrow it down. So models, kits, and hands-on resources would be a good one. Equipment and tech equipment. And then if you go back up here to the green button and click on submit, then this gives your teachers a lot more detailed view of things that are available, because it tells you what grade levels, what subjects, like this first one is the 3D Doodler, it's robotics for intermediate, junior high, and high school. And then right from here, you can add them to your list to check them out. So this is just a easier way to do that. And even more than that, if they're looking just for science, then all you have to do is do the same thing I just did, but just add STEM and science together, and that'll help narrow it down even more. So then you can find all of our STEM kits that we have. There's some basic electricity, etc. So that I think is a better way for teachers to get an idea of what grade level is that for, and then they should know already how to add it to their list and then go ahead from there and see its availability and check it out. If they don't know how to do the next part of that, have them contact our media center, or Laura, Mary Ann, Stephanie, or I, and we'll help them do that. But I just wanted to kind of point that out to you all, that we have lots and lots of STEM kits and equipment available that teachers might not even know about. So, and Laura, I thought too, and I think we've talked about this, that maybe at the NGSS trainings, if we know ahead of time, or if our media department knows ahead of time when those are, we could send some of that equipment and just have it there, so that during breaks or at lunchtime or afterwards, they could have some hands-on time with some of that STEM equipment. What do you think about that?
Oops. Yeah, absolutely. And had the opportunity, it just worked out to have, like we had the Pocket Labs at one of the trainings when we first got them. And then I know Stephanie brought in the 3D goggle, like the Google Expedition kits.
Mm-hmm.
And so they got a chance to try them out then. And so we're going to try to do more of that intentionally, I think, just so that it's like a reminder, because like, oh, I know EA has this stuff, but you kind of forget unless like someone reminds you, or you're constantly being reminded or seeing it places.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that will help get that off the shelf and into the teacher's hands more often.
Great. Okay. All right. Mary Ann, do you want to tell us, since we're talking about things available from the AEA, about Define STEM?
Sure. There actually were, on our website, I suggested us look at Define STEM Mystery Science, and then we have a new one in our online databases called Science Flix. It's similar to TrueFlix, BookFlix. It's from the same company. And right now you can log into Science Flix, even though our subscription hasn't really been lit with your regular AEA online database account. So if you want to take a look at that, you can. So Define STEM. Let me share my screen, which is where, screen share. So we've had Define STEM for a couple years, maybe? What do you think?
Yeah, a couple of years, I
At
think.
least a couple of years. The nice thing about Define STEM is that you can get to it again from our website, and I already have it up here, but let me go back. I have a lot of screens open. Let's see, here we are. This is us. So we're back in the media where Judy was, and we have our AEA online databases, and then we have Define STEM. So if I click on Define STEM, and I'm not logged on, which I am right now, so let me log off. You can, every school district that's a Google school already has a log in, so you do not have to type anything extra in. You just click on Login with Google, and it will automatically, magically take you in. So in about 2 seconds, I'll pop in. There I am. Now, one nice thing about Define STEM is you can look at it by standards and grade spans. So if I click on 912, over here on the right is the next generation science standards. So I click on those. It's going to give me all of the curriculum, the units, the projects that they have around the NGSS standards. And this is one for physical science, life science, earth science, and engineering. So then if I want to look at one of those, earth scientist, I click on it, and it kind of looks a little bit like, it used to be, we did WebQuest back in the day. That was like 15 years ago, if I remember correctly, and it's kind of set up that same way. And it also starts out with a goal, which is based on the work of Wiggins and McTighe backward design. And so here it gives you a short synopsis of it. And then if you want to see the whole thing, you can navigate to the task. And that brings up the whole unit. In this particular product, you can either use the unit as it is, or you can tweak it if you want to and make some changes to it. So like I said, it was based on some of the resources from McTighe and Wiggins. And And here's their essential question right here. And then here are the big understandings right here. And then again, the same kind of format as a web quest or project-based learning. So here's our goal. And then we have a role. Everybody has roles. And who's your target audience? What's going to be the situation? And what kind of products would you have kids produce after they're finished going through the scenario? So this particular website is for teachers to develop a unit curriculum around the NGSS standards or other standards, but we're talking about science today. So it'd be a great resource for teachers as they're trying to get their arms around what does it mean to, there's something blinking. What does it mean to be teaching the NGSS standards? And this is some curriculum that's already built that you can use as is, or you can tweak it. So that's Define STEM. Does anybody have any questions about Define STEM?
I don't have any questions. I've used Define STEM before. A few times towards the end of last year was when I really started to get into it, and we were really starting to start the transition into the NGSS. Things I liked about it is it's fairly easy to use. It even sends out a link to the kids. You don't have to worry about making sure the kids get to the right spot. I think it also, you can send it out to Google Classroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can.
So that was also another big benefit of it. But the fact that it's aligned directly to some standards is really beneficial, because sometimes you have trouble coming up with activities for particular standards. And if it's already there for you, then that's definitely a huge benefit.
Right, absolutely. So that's Define STEM, and I really highly encourage you to encourage your teachers to use it, because it's not only for science, but that's what we're talking about, but it's also for English language arts, math, and social studies, and it's aligned to the Common Core for those, and Iowa's brand of the Common Core as well. So you can find a lot of good stuff in Define STEM. Really great resource.
Where's that at again, Marianne?
What?
Where is that at again on the website?
Okay, so if you go, let me share my screen again. All right, so if I open up another new tab among the many I have open, I'm a tab queen. All right, so then I'm going to go to Green Hills' website, which is the same, like Judy was saying, it's the same as it was before, but when you get there, it's going to look different. So it's going to be www.ghaea.org, and I already have it up here, so I'm just going to click on it. See, and it has a little different look, but if you think of media, all of these items are under media. So if I click on media, you'll see online resources. So this is the landing page for all of our online resources now. So if you click on that, then Define STEM is going to be this one right here.
Okay. Got it.
Click on that, and then again, as I said, I'll log off again here.
That's fine, I got it.
Okay, then you log on with your Google log on, just click on it, it'll go. The very first time you log in, remember how Google always makes you agree to give away your firstborn? You'll have to do that on this one as well. But once you click the okay, I agree, whatever that button says, then the next, you'll never have to click that again.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let me stop sharing. Okay. Let's see, what else is next?
NGSS or science standards, and what? Tell us the update, Marianne, with open educational resources. That's
okay, and I haven't got this on the website yet, but I wanted to show you where you can get some NGSS open source resources. So let me share my screen again. And
Shauna,
I'll put
are you taking us for a walk?
Yes.
Giving us a virtual tour?
It's a square. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm closing some tabs. I want you guys to note that. All right, so one of the places, the best place you can get all of the open source resources. Now, open source curriculum is out there to the all teachers to use free of charge, and you can tweak it and make it your own. So there's a lot of open source content out there. And I was talking to Josh Allen a couple of days ago about open source, because they're a Go Open district and are dedicated to using some open source textbooks with their students. And he said, because I asked him about vetting the items, and he said they're all vetted. But it's up to you then when you go in to make sure that they're going to still meet your needs. But they've been vetted to a certain quality to begin with. So it's not, so this particular site is the Open Source Commons, OER Commons, and the AAAPD Online folks, Evan Abbey and his group, have set up a spot in the Commons. And so this is their spot, and I'll put a link on our website to it. And so if I scroll down, I'll see all of the open source content that's available. And so let me tell you about a couple of them that we looked at. Science textbooks and full courses. Another thing Josh said is, if you're going to get started with open source, start out with a textbook. Don't build it from the ground up. I mean, if you give it to teachers and say you have to build your own textbook from the ground up, they might go home and start crying. I think I would. But, you know, if you give them a textbook to get started with, and then they tweak that textbook and make changes to it, that's a lot easier. So this is a resource that you could use for that. CK12 STEM Flexbooks are available. This comes out of California, and the people in Utah who have done some science work have partnered with them, so you will find science content in that one. And another one that's really good, it's kind of toward the bottom here. Of course, the Khan Academy always has videos that you can use, but here are NGSS aligned resources, and note there are 1,617 resources in here. So this might be a place to get started right here. I mean, that's a lot of resources. And you can sort it by standard and by grade and educational and material level. So if you're thinking about building your own textbook around the NGSS standards, open source, this particular site on the Commons would be a good place to start. And this NGSS tool would be a good place to start. However, you don't have to just, you don't have to build your own textbook. This could be just a great place to go to get some ideas and to get some extra content for your curriculum, similar to Define STEM. So that's open source. Do you have any questions about open source? I mean, I could go on longer.
No, but another great resource, or lots of resources to share with your
right
teachers.
And if you haven't used these PhET interactives, these come, I think it's someplace in the West. Is it Utah? I'm thinking it might be.
I think it's Colorado.
Okay. So anyway, these are great interactives, so if you wanted to use those, but you can see that there are a lot of science things available. So great resources on this particular site.
Marianne, while you're there, I was going to show the PhET resources. So can you just let's just do that now.
Okay.
Just go ahead and click on that.
Okay, any particular, of course, we're going to do science. Any particular science you wanted to look at?
Click on life science.
Life science, okay.
I got it. I usually get at it from just the PhET site itself and not through OER Commons. So I'm not quite sure how this looks. But what these are is simulations that you can run. And maybe Laura, you know more about these than we do. Have you used these, or Seth, have you used these?
Yeah, I use PhET a lot. We actually have some PhET in our online immersions that we use. So it's a good resource.
Yeah, they're from the University of Colorado Boulder. How about you, Seth? Have you used these?
Nope.
Okay, so again, these are awesome resources because you can use them on Chromebooks, you can use them on iPads, and they're just, what she's looking at now. Oh, gene expression, the basics, so all about genes and DNA and all of that. But it's all simulations that kids can run, and what if situations, and what if I change this? How does that change my results? And so they're very awesome.
And there are a lot of them.
There are a lot of them, and they're adding more all the time, and they are free.
Can't beat that.
Right.
Free stuff that's good.
Right.
Right. Anybody else have any questions about that?
I have a question, and it's just because I haven't been on with my device on my Apple lately. But when I was, we went 1-to-1 when I was teaching, and there were issues with it, with opening like half of them. Is that still an issue? Do you know?
I have emailed them and asked them about that, because we did have some trouble, I know, at least last year, with Chromebooks being able to access them because, was it the Flash content or something like that? Yeah, but I know that I haven't any trouble with them with Chromebooks, at least with the ones that teachers that I've seen teachers use with them. Now, as far as the iOS applications, I'm not quite sure.
I think they still are having issues, but if you're on a Chromebook, it should be fine.
Yeah, Chromebook or regular laptop should be fine. Yep.
Well, if you notice, it says right here HTML5, which I'm thinking that is universal.
Yeah, I think they've updated it, but I'm not sure. We'll have to try it, Laura, with an iPad and see.
Try ones out. I'll do it.
Yeah.
All righty.
Okay, I think I'm next, and we're going to talk. I just want to show, in addition to the PhET website, another website that I really like, and this will be for human anatomy. So let me share that one. This is the BioDigital Human. And just like you did with the other resources that Marianne showed, log in with your Google account with this. And this one's free. And so I'm going to just kind of show you around here a little bit. So I don't know what this person's name is. Right now it's not gender specific. So, but you can turn on the reproductive system, or you can change it so that it's male or female or whatever. But just an awesome way to look at this. And I've got all of you guys down here at the bottom. So you're taking there we go. I can see. So they've added some new things. So in addition to being able to pan and zoom around and look at this person in 3D, and then you can of course zoom in, on a particular system or on his face or whatever. Over here on the left, you can turn off or on, like I could turn off or on the skeletal system, or I could click on the arrow next to it and turn off or on the bones of the head, bones of the trunk. While I'm doing that, I might want to turn off the muscular system completely so that I can see this a little bit better. Great resource here. But here's what I really like, other than being able to see this. This always reminds me, and this will date me a lot, but the encyclopedias that we used to have at school, you open up the middle and they had those clear layers of the human body, and then you could add one layer after another after another. Well, this allows you not only to look at them, but then down here at the bottom, they've added some interactive things. So for example, they have a dissecting tool. And I haven't played with these because I'm not a science person, but when I got on here today, they're like, hey, look at what we have that's new, and this is what's new. You can do some dissection. I got to move this thing out of the way. You can view different modes, the X-ray mode, or you can isolate different parts, bring everything back. You can pick different tools. There's a dissection. You can undo your dissection. You can take a cross section. You can do this exploded view. This is kind of awesome. So you can blow up your human. You can annotate it. So you can, put little arrows and write about what different sections are. I sure wish I'd had this when I was learning anatomy. You can take different snapshots. So if you've got it dissected and you want to take a snapshot, but then the best thing is that then you can save this to your human so that you can make your own view of something. And then up here next to the search is this gallery. And in the gallery, then you can find your human and continue working on your person and not always have to start from scratch. Or you can look at different health conditions. So I'm going to click here on blood, heart, and circulation. And other people have added things in the gallery for you to look at and do some close-ups. Here's an aortic aneurysm, for example, angioplasty. So those things are all available in the gallery in addition to your own human. So I think this is just an awesome site for, you could use it with little kids just for looking overall at I don't know what the NGSS standards are for elementary, Laura, with anatomy, but I know they study teeth, and so here we go. So I think that's a great site, Biodigital Human. There's a link to it on our website today, but it's just human.biodigital.com. And the fact that this is free is just amazing to me. This is the PhET site. It's phet.colorado.edu, but you can get there either there or where Marianne went through the OER. So any questions about that?
Is there a way for those students to share? So let's say a teacher give them an assignment to dissect the digestive system and label it, or they have to label the parts of the digestive system. Is there a way to share that then with the teacher?
I haven't tried it, but I imagine it would be, Shauna, because there is that option to save their image.
Right.
And then from there, if they save it as an image, they should be able to do anything that they want to. Put it in a report, put it in their lab report, send it to their teacher, submit it via Google Classroom. I would think all those things are available.
Okay. I didn't see the icons. That's what I was asking. So
You
Yeah.
can screenshot too. I'm seeing a lot more of just screenshotting things and then taking that image and putting it where you want.
Yep.
perfect. Awesome. Yep,
that's
that's
great.
another one. All right.
Okay, another thing I wanted to share with you is, I got to stop my screen share for just a second. I don't know if you guys have seen these, but there's an app called Elements 4D, and you can make your own element cubes. Are they showing up backwards?
No, it's showing up right. That's good.
Oh, they're just
That one's
backwards to me.
That's upside down.
Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 cubes, and they have a different element on each side. Have you seen these, Laura? Oh, this is so cool. Okay, so I've got these 6 cubes, and I'm going to put this one back to, here's hydrogen. Okay, so then I get my app on my phone. So let me share my screen and project that. See if I can do this as smoothly as Laura did.
I don't know about how smooth it was.
It's always smooth when it's successful, Laura. Always.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always smooth until I get here and it says GHAEA, and I can't find my Mac. Why is that? Air server. Judy's Mac. Oh, here it comes. Just slow. There we go. Okay, so then I get this Elements 4D. I have to turn it sideways. Okay, so I take my elements here, and for example, if I'm looking at mercury, I just hover over it, and now I can look and see that it's a kind of not really a solid, but you can see it kind of moving down there. So I went from just looking at a cube to, here's sulfur. Then I can look in the cube and see that. So they can look really closely at the different elements. It tells them the numbers on there, and it also has approximate volume and some of that kind of stuff. But here's the cool thing. What if I mix 2 elements? So to do that, I'm going to put my hydrogen, which of course is a gas, and oxygen, another gas. I'm going to put those 2 together and then hover over that. They have to touch each other. Oh, and by the way, you can buy these as wooden cubes, but I haven't paid the $10 for the set of wooden cubes yet. But look what it changed to.
Very cool.
Because they're touching.
Mm-hmm.
So, boy, that's loud, whoever that is. Is that me or?
Right.
Okay. Anyway, so that's an app, free app called Elements 4D. Works great on a phone, the kids' iPhones, or on an iPad. Let me stop sharing that. So that's just a fun one and a great way to teach some of those elements on the periodic table. One of my very favorite things. Okay, Laura, did I teach you something?
Yes. I love that. I absolutely love that.
Great.
So where did you get the paper cubes then, Judy, that you can just make those?
If you go to the website, and I think I've got a link to it on our website from today, but then they give you the link to the PDF to print these, and then you just cut them apart. And of course, this is what takes a while. You have to cut them apart, and they've got and then you put a little bit of stick glue in different places to come up with the clues. So these wouldn't last very long with a class full of high school kids. I would recommend paying, if you really like these and the kids are learning a lot from them, I would recommend getting the wooden version. But, you know, or have each kid make their own set.
Yeah.
That could be their homework. Make your cubes tonight, and then we'll use them tomorrow. So, yeah, I think that would be
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. I think that was the last thing on our agenda for today, unless anybody has anything else. Anybody have anything to add? Or Seth, is there anything that you did when you were a science teacher? I know you're only not even a year away from having taught science, or anything else that you want to share, or that you see, Shauna, going on in classrooms? No? Seth, no?
Not that's coming to mind. Just I liked the suggestion earlier of seeing if you can get some of the things from the AEA at those NGSS trainings, so that teachers can make those connections, and so they have something else to work on other than just sitting there building curriculum and sitting there thinking, because it takes a lot, and that would be a nice little break from what normally has been done. So.
Great. Good to know that. Okay. All right. Well, I hope that those of you watching this live and those of you watching it archived found something that you can share, at least one thing with your science teachers today. Again, I really appreciate Laura joining us and contributing all of her wealth of knowledge about science, because that's certainly not a strong point of mine, though. If I had it to do over, I would have paid a lot more attention in science class, because I love it. It's just that when you're in high school and you think you're cool, that science wasn't cool then. But I just think if I had it to do over, I would take a lot more science classes. So anybody else?
It's never too late, Judy. You could take some more.
That's true. That's true.
All right.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody, and have a good weekend. And our next one of these is in May. It may not be live. Marianne and I'll talk about that, but I think we're going to just talk about the new Iowa AEA online resources and get that recorded, so that then you can share that with new teachers coming in the fall. So,
but we're going to do a digital breakout EDU about them.
Oh, we're going to create one.
Maybe we could just send that out and you could do that.
Yeah, you guys could be our test group.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe you could screencast that or something. That'd be great.
All right. Well,
All right.
Thanks, everybody, and have a good weekend.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.